we are out in Lockport in one of our absolute favorite yard displays. Technically, it could be called a home haunt. This is Thanatophobialand, Lockport. As you can see, there's a lot here, a lot to see, a lot of cool tombstones, and a new addition right there. We've got some interesting things going on in the crypt. We'll let you know what we think about the 2013 version in a little bit. Thanks. All right, Laura, we made a return visit to one of our all-time favorites. This is Thanatophobialand out in Lockport, Illinois. And we hit this one up. They just opened up this weekend. What did you think?
Oh, I love it. That's one of my favorite. That's one of the yard displays that I look forward to going to every year. It's just really, really cool. I mean, the front yard has all these tombstones, and it's all like real celebrities. So, and then around the side, they have like pictures with the what happened to them, where they're from, what happened to them. Their dates of like when they were born, when they died. Very interesting. There's a lot of reading involved, and every year when we go, they seem to add more. And they had some really cool additions this year than I've seen before. First of all, they have a sign, and it's like a gate, and of course there's like a door, and there's stained glass windows on the sides, which it's a cool effect too. But they have like a movie where they're showing there's like a headless guy, and then there's like a woman, but a really, really cool, creepy feeling. And then of course they've got hearses, multiple hearses, one in the front, one on the driveway, and then you go back and there's a funeral scene. And it's a really creepy scene. I mean, and what they've added, they've got these pictures on the wall now that they're like animated. They change, really cool. So I mean, this is one, like I said, I look forward to. This is one of my favorite yard displays. And 5 out of 5 is always. It's always a 5 out of 5. They just keep adding. It gets better and better every year.
Yeah, and I'm going to go 5 out of 5 for this one as well. I like it every year, as Laura said, but I really liked it this year. The crypt in the front of the yard. First of all, the whole front yard is eerily lit with like a blue light. It's really a neat looking color that they've chosen. The color scheme is really nice. And there's a crypt in the center. And this crypt's been there in the past, but it's usually had like a ghost floating, like a ghost figure up and down. But this year had stained glass windows, and in the center of the crypt, where the door would be, there was a projection that would appear not all the time. You never knew when it was going to be there. It would just pop up, and it would be different figures, different ghoulish figures and things. And it really looked like a ghost walking around there in the crypt. And I would say that was great just to watch that, in addition to everything else that they had. And you go around the back, and there's a whole other display, in addition to the garage that was mentioned, which has a funeral scene, and it looks old. I would say it looks almost Victorian, or a little bit later than that. Full funeral setup. Not creepy because it's gory or anything, just creepy because it's a funeral setup. So it's one of those things. There's an old-time radio there. There's an old-style lamp that's there, and a picture next to it. The picture looks empty, but when you pass it, a ghost appears in the picture. It's clever stuff. Clever stuff. The coffin had the dearly departed in the coffin has a little book that says advice for the dearly departed, which is kind of funny, I have to say. And a lot of things at Thanatophobialand are kind of amusing like that too. There's a reverend there, and he's animatronic, and he talks. Funeral, and it even has real candles, like those red candles when you go to a funeral parlor, votive candles and things. They had a display of that. It adds to the creepiness. But then in the backyard, there's this whole display. There's a mad scientist. There are actually 2 electricians there, which is kind of funny because there's a guy in an electric chair in the corner, and every now and then he starts smoking and the lights go off and things. It's just clever, just tongue-in-cheek stuff. And I have to mention that the hearses along the side, there's a new one this time. It's like a hearse mobile. It's a old-fashioned car made out of a coffin, and it's got a drive-through plate there from burgers and fries from a drive-through, and there's a Hooters waitress there, but it's not really Hooters. I forget the name. It's some ghostly name on the shirt. It's a play on Hooters, and various other things. It's just clever stuff. You got to see it. There's a lot to see, and you can learn a few things too, because the tombstones are real people. And if you don't know who they are, you can read on the side who they are. So, and they give real names too. So if you might not know Yvonne DiCarlo's real name, for example, but you will if you go to Thanatophobialand. So,
and Grandpa must there too.
That's right. Yeah. They're all there.
They're all there, yeah.
Even ones that you might not think about. So you owe yourself a visit there. Thanatophobialand, 5 out of 5.